I'm Omar.
And I'm Tonya Iris.
And this is Small Conversations where we talk about trending topics, marriage, and relationships. Today I wanted to talk about, and happy Friday to everyone.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. This topic that we're getting ready to discuss, it's a heavy topic. It's not really a small conversation, right? It's not a small conversation, but I think it's a needed conversation.
It is.
Right. And so I want to talk about the battle of the sexes. The battle of the sexes. And the reason why I title it that way is because every time I look online, there seems to be all these talking heads, just pitted against men against women, and men are no good, women are no good. It's just a lot of that, men are dogs, women are hoes. I mean, it's a lot. It's really, really a lot.
Yeah.
And I think
going back and forth.
A lot of back and forth. And I'm trying to figure out, why is it so combative? Do you feel like that?
Yes, I do. I think everybody has strong opinions about where they stand, and this isn't new.
Okay.
This whole battle of the sexes isn't new. Started long time ago. Adam said he gave this, blamed it on Eve. It was this woman that you gave me, So it started a long time ago.
Blame it on Adam, yeah.
Blame it on Adam. Adam blamed it on Eve first. Shoot, don't be trying to. I'm just saying, people. Okay.
Oh, see, I thought about this too. You better watch. You better know who's talking to your woman, huh? Yeah. Serpent was in there like.
Yeah.
You better figure out who's talking to your lady, huh?
Yeah, word on the street.
Got some snakes out here. Some snakes.
Look.
Straight up snakes out here.
Yeah.
So, smile in your face and stab you right in the back, huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
It'd be real. But everybody has strong opinions about, why the battle of the sexes are even a thing.
Yeah.
Women are strong, independent, are, what is that? Men don't want to settle down. There's this whole conversation with nurses about men, taking care of older men in the hospices and them not having any family, or in the nursing homes, and are women, being strong single mothers, and they have this whole TikTok going around. It's like, will you be my wife? He's like, get somebody else to do it. and it's just a lot of trauma and a lot of hurt that I see.
Yeah.
When people want to distance themselves from people,
right,
and just consistently point out the bad, or the songs you hear about with men disrespecting women, or women
it's a false
dressing a certain way,
right? But it's a false I think question, in a sense. You know what I mean? When you even talk about a strong woman or an independent woman or a smart, or whatever you want to call their positive thinking, whatever. I don't understand how that detracts from me. You being you. Come on.
It doesn't.
That's what I'm saying.
It doesn't.
So right. So you being strong, or you being intelligent, you being bright, you being brilliant.
Yeah.
That does. I mean, that's a benefit to me. It's not I don't understand that.
Is.
I don't understand. And likewise, me being strong, or me being intelligent, or me being forward thinking,
doesn't take away from me.
Exactly.
But I think the whole narrative about strong black women, I'm for it, but I'm not necessarily for it. I think black women have been, we have had to be strong for so long because we've had no choice. A lot of them were raised by single mothers, or even going back to slavery. If we're gonna be honest, they had to be strong women.
Strength.
Strength. It doesn't have to be physical, but
right.
I'm saying,
but even a woman, say for instance, a woman in a traditional, husband and wife. No, hold on. Can she be for instance? I consider you strong. I consider you a strong. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But so the notion is, okay, strong black woman is somebody who's independent, somebody who's single, who's this or that. And it doesn't need to be that.
Doing it all for herself. That's what you're saying.
No one's an island. No one's an island by themselves. Nobody has gotten to where they've gotten to in life without somebody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So even that thought of, what are we saying? What are we saying?
Now what I'm saying,
All right, go ahead.
I'm saying from a woman's perspective,
Go.
who is constantly saying, being called strong black woman.
Okay.
While I do, I understand what they're trying to communicate. Yes, you're doing it for yourself. Yes, you're getting it done. But then there's also a flip side where she's holding it all together. Like, she has to be strong. The women feel like they have to be strong because they don't have anybody to come beside them and help them out. If we're being honest, you know what I mean? And when it comes to that part, or the assumption that she got it all together, she's a strong black woman, she got it all together. Like you're being taught that, oh, be strong, be strong, be strong. Oh yes, nobody's saying being strong in the Lord, which God wants us more so to depend on Him. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Then you go out and you do it yourself. Not to say we want other people to do it, you know what I mean? But you don't hear nobody saying strong white woman. I mean, not to be racist, be strong Asian woman. Like, nobody's going around saying that. So why is it strong black woman? Like, why is that such a thing? We can be strong, we can be vulnerable, we can be feminine, we can be all of those things. But why do they have to consistently say strong black woman?
No, that's interesting. That is an interesting thought, because as you think about
my strength, to me, doesn't necessarily just come in all those things. I'm feminine. I can
being
be
feminine.
soft. I enjoy myself. I can be vulnerable.
But you could be feminine and strong at the same time.
I know, but that's not necessary. Why? But the thing is, you're not going around saying strong white woman. You're not going around saying strong Asian woman.
But why?
No. Because those women, the characteristics or the adjectives attached to them are feminine. You know what I mean? Are dainty. Are, you know what I mean? Not to say that they're not used to describe us, but they're used more so to describe women of other races more so than us.
Okay. I guess, my thought as it relates to that, and I agree with you that that term has been used. But again, my thought is always going to be, we're strong together. We're stronger together, right?
Yeah, but I understand from a woman's perspective.
And what's out there, right? Mm-hmm. But I mean, you're strong, I'm strong, we're stronger together. You're smart, I'm smart, we're smarter together. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I think as it relates to why is that out there, it kind of denotes maybe that, or
maybe our struggle. I think
it comes from the struggle, but also the intent of, is it something to cause division, right? Because if I'm up and saying, hey, I'm independent, I don't need this, I can do it myself, that's not really realistic.
Yeah, but again, a lot of women have been taught to do it for themselves, because unless, there's also a narrative, unless you put out, men ain't gonna necessarily do it for you. You know what I mean? You have to be a certain type of woman in order to, it depends on what circle you roll in, as far as how the conversation is being carried about, doing it for yourself. And it's not a bad thing to do things for yourself. It's not a bad to go out and get your degree, so forth and so on. You know what I mean?
Do you think?
But yeah.
But I guess we're getting at, and I guess about some of the causes of some of that friction, right? Yeah. The music, the entertainment, and how one degrades another. You know what I mean? The social aspect of it. The culture and those, and then also we didn't talk about that, is that there's a lot of hurt people.
Yes, hurt people. Yes, that's when I started off, but then I went left. But yes, hurt people. A lot of the men taking digs at women, and even and the women taking digs at men. And all I see is just hurt people, sharing their pain or communicating it in different ways. If anything, they should learn how to say, "You hurt my feelings," and understand that it's okay putting your egos aside. When I
That's huge, though. No. That's huge. That's
yeah,
huge.
just being able to say, you know, like that bothered me, or because another conversation is respect.
No, because
Respect,
I want to stay on that hurt because
men don't respect.
no, because when you say hurt, I mean it's so powerful because if you don't recognize that you've been hurt,
Yeah.
if you don't own up to being hurt,
Yeah.
and you don't kind of dig a little deeper, you can't really heal from that, and then you kind of end up, you know, doing the same thing over and over again,
and
attracting the same
type of people. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So I mean, you touching on hurt is so important because you got to recognize, okay, you know, I was hurt, and this is what happened, and this is why it happened, and what was my role in that situation as well.
Yeah.
Right? Because
it's intense. The going back and forth on social media. Some of the causes, you know what I mean? Like, what do you think some of the causes of the battle of the sexes are?
well, I mean, I think it has a lot to do with the images that are out there right now. You know, there's these images that, you know, like a macho man. There's images of a bee thing. I can't even.
Bad.
I can't. I'm not even.
You
good.
know
Yeah.
what we're talking about.
Yeah. You know, all these different images out there. You know what I mean? That are just counter to. I think, you know, being together and being like strong together. You know, you have, you know, just culture.
Yeah.
You know, where
culture is a huge reason. It's so funny when you say culture because I remember way back in the day when NWA dropped a song, or was it Tupac? I can't remember who it was, but they dropped a song and it's very disrespectful to women, and they had this whole our 2 Live Crew or something. And they I can't remember her name, but anyway, they protest having the CDs, and like they were breaking the CDs on the sidewalk. Who knew how far we've come, where so many songs are disrespecting women, and vice versa. You know what I mean? Songs where women, you know, kind of go in on themselves, and you know, are a little bit more risque in how they, you know, carry themselves and how they dress. And at the same vein, you know, men disrespecting women, and in so many different ways.
It's becoming commonplace, and it's something that you know, I don't really understand. You know, growing up, you know, with a single mom, and you know, loving my sisters, and you know, I just don't understand how someone kind of disassociates what they're saying and their behavior
from the women in their lives.
From the women in their lives, right? It's like, wait a second, don't you got a mama? Don't you got a sister? Don't you got a daughter? Like, okay, do you want, now hold on, player, hold on, player. Wait, hold on, player. So do you want somebody to treat your daughter like that? Do you want somebody to talk out of turn to your sister like that? Like, come on, right?
Yeah, and it's...
I mean, come
it's
on.
a bit much. I understand.
Like, really?
Everybody's like, we're all grown. You know, it's art imitating life. I was just like, no. What it imitates is our struggle and our hurt and our pain.
Yeah.
And there's, you know,
But you know what? No, it is disrespectful, and it's not just art.
But they're communicating their feelings. I get it. They're communicating their feelings on a platform where they've experienced it in their personal life. But, okay, no. Hear me out. Go. Just like when you get angry at a person, you tend to be disrespectful. I personally, we do it in a way that I can't necessarily high five a lot. In that, you know, no other race is doing it. And I'll point it out because it's obvious. We're not seeing a whole bunch of other races that are disrespecting their women on platforms and music, you know, like the way they do it in the black community. I don't like it. But with that being said, they're displaying their pain on platforms. All right. So they're hurt. Just say, if you know, and many of them say they're hurting in there, but you know, are you healing? You know what I mean? Because if not, you're just going to attract the same type of person in the following relationship. And healing is important.
Healing is important, and it impacts actually how, you know, it's not just art, right? Because when you think about it, when there's a broken family, there's not like, a lot of like mentorship or things like that. These messages are magnified,
Yes.
and so you have people who are kind of have this type of mentality,
Yeah.
right?
Oh
I was
my
watching. There was something that happened a couple years ago that if I could have, went like this to the television screen and grabbed somebody, I would have.
Yeah.
It was a sister that was, I think it was in Harlem.
Yeah.
A sister was going to pick up a bottle of wine. Some dude. Oh my gosh.
He was hitting on her.
He hitting on
She
her.
wasn't feeling
She
it.
wasn't feeling it, and they end up coming out and beating her.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He did, yeah.
And the thing about it that, I mean, it's just, I think he's in jail now, right? But the thing about it that really went to a whole nother level was that I don't get how there were no guys there to regulate that.
Stand in and be like, hey, that's
Oh
okay.
man, but
It's crazy. I've been one. I remember this. I was in the Bronx. Well, I lived in New York at the time. I was coming home from work, I believe, and they had these young. It was a young couple. It's so funny. Oh, I mean, not funny, but it's so odd to me. But it was a young couple, and looked like they were barely out of their teens, maybe in their late teens, and he was very aggressive towards her, and she was just sitting there, and she was just like, no, and she was trying to calm him down, but he was just being so aggressive. I was just like, and she just got really, really quiet while he was going off. I was like, I can't sit and watch this. So I was just like, baby, come on. I'm not sure what he got going on, and I was ready to go toe to toe with him. But the thing is, they had others around who were just like, it's not my business, not my dog, not my fight. And I understand, because they have been people who've gotten into it and end up dead or hurt,
over some
for
nonsense,
intervening.
yeah.
But you know what? I was just like willing to take that risk, like, because I'm not okay with it. I'm not okay with watching a woman be disrespectful, be disrespected, or handled in a way that I just wouldn't want my sister,
Right.
or anybody to be handled. It doesn't sit well with me.
Right. But salute to the community, because with that example that happened in Harlem, I believe a couple of days later, there were patrols and basically a platform and people that stood up and said, we can't have this in our communities. And it's so true.
It's not okay.
It shouldn't be commonplace.
No,
it shouldn't be commonplace.
If you know, like, your homeboy or your homegirl that, they didn't do well, if anything, you just who are in relationships and they're just in toxic relationships, or they're the aggressor, just encouraging them, like, hey, you need to get some help, not being quiet about it. And there are a lot of people who do, speak up, be like, hey, that's not okay. But that whole conversation and narrative of why women do what they do is like, oh, well, I don't need a man because he gonna do whoop-de-woo, yada yada yada, he just gonna cheat on me, or this, that, and the other. I think it's a trusting issue. So when they speak like that, when people speak like that to me, it just sounds like a trusting issue, because you've been hurt before. You know what I mean? Or she gonna do this, or she only want me for my money. Whoop-de-woo, yada. Like you may have been in that situation before, and she may have got you. And not to say that that's okay, but come on. If you just say, I've been through it, let me heal, let me figure out why,
right. And don't paint everybody
this type of women, and don't blanket
and
them.
don't paint everybody with the same broad brush. Not all men are this way, and not all women are that way as well. And I think that, again, that goes back to culture and images. And what's out there, because what you see online is like all women are like, and it's like, come, are you serious? Are you serious, right? So and why right, and the influence. So why is it though that is so prevalent, right? I mean, I'm sure people,
because negative images are pushed harder in the media.
True.
Positive and
True.
sad.
True. But the impact is a division, right? The impact, which is something that people really need to kind of we don't have those homes, or don't have those positive environments. Right. You're not my enemy.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so if people are kind of brainwashed to the point to think that women are the enemy, or men are the enemy, that's a problem.
Yeah.
You're right. And so we got to really kind of take back and say, why are these images, why are these messages being like, so prevalent, right? Why is that? And so we really have to kind of deal with how do we move past it. Now, again, we can talk all night long about social issues, history, and all. There's not enough tape. There's not enough tape.
Still water runs deep. Yeah,
I'm telling you.
In that situation. Yeah.
But as we talk about solutions, a solution is kind of like you said, kind of addressing hurt.
Yeah, addressing hurt and communicating, learning how to communicate your hurt, and stepping away from relationships for a while and peel back and it's like, all right, what's going on with me that I'm attracting this type of person, or that because literally that's what tends to happen.
Right.
Is if you're in a relationship and it's a bad relationship and you just keep getting in relationships after relationship, you break up, but sometimes there's just something wrong with us. And when I say that, I mean there's
some work that we got to
something
do.
Broken, some work that we have to do personally. You know what I mean? Personally, are you just going to end up attracting the same type of person over and over again?
Sure.
And it's just taking some time and getting the help, getting the healing that you need.
Taking some time, getting help, getting counseling, speaking to a pastoral counselor, or just getting counsel, friends, people who had successful relationships that can share and kind of sow into you and your family, right? It's important to bring those people around family, especially if your family is looking out for you because they love you. So they're gonna tell you the real. They're gonna tell you what they see and say that again.
Trust in your gut.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Here's a for all you single ladies and men. One of the prayers that I prayed during my time where I was single. I was just like, yo, God, reveal to me their heart. You know what I mean? Because God knows the heart of a person. Like, tell me, who they truly are. I understand what they're doing right now, and it seems all fine. Yeah, because they could have been, but God, I don't want to waste their time, and I don't want my time to be wasted.
Right.
So God, show me who they truly are, and He does. But you got to be ready to receive once He does. Like once He show you that person, you got to be ready to be like, okay, am I ready to deal with this, or am I, deal with this for the rest of my life? If you guys are going to get married or in a relationship or whatever the case may be, like, am I ready to deal with this? Or is this a breaking? Is this a breaking point for me? I'm done. You know what I mean? So you get to choose, but ask God. He'll show you.
He'll definitely show you. And also, another solution is stop eating junk food all the time. Like, again, I watch this, and junk food is all on social media, like junk food. Like, if, it's just blaming this one, after a while, you got to really kind of, filter that out, because that's not the whole. Not all women are like this. Not all men are like this. I mean, let's be honest with that. So if you focus on that, and that's your whole train of thought is women. Quite honestly, that gets you, from your thoughts to your belief, starts to go into your behaviors, right? And then you start to attract the same type of people that you really didn't want to attract in the first place. But stop eating all that junk food. Start to listen to people who have successful relationships. People who can help you develop yourself, right? So that you're kind of glowing, right, with what you want to attract.
Deciding who you are, who you want to be, and what type of person you want to attract. Because everybody, and dealing with everybody, like you said, don't blanket everybody. It's on an individual basis. Everybody's not the same. Everybody's not looking for the same thing. You just got to be open to maybe sometimes stepping outside of your comfort zone to meet that individual who might be a better fit for you. And some of these lists, I understand, like a lot of women are making these lists.
I made a list,
and there's nothing wrong with the list, but sometimes God will blow your mind, and sometimes but he made a list, right? I had a loose list. And again, we just need to make our, we might film that next, but share our story. Because I'll be honest, some of the things that, I was just like, oh, okay, I did not know that God was going to blow my mind and change things, shift things around as far as who I would end up with versus, who I may have had in mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And also, like, I guess you can have I think you can have a list, but the first part of your list you have to lead with character. Yeah. Right? I mean, people have all these kind of lists about, okay, this person has to make this much money and like that doesn't make a whole bunch of sense. I mean, like what you really want to be focused on is this person's mind right? Yeah. Right? Is this person's character right? Right? I mean, as it relates to money and wealth is built.
A rich person who's like nasty and rude.
But wealth is built, right? So if you have wealth is built together. So if the lion's share of millionaires are 50, 60 plus, that means that they've spent their working years building on something. Yeah. And so I think the focus should be like, hey, do I want to build with this person? Is this person character of the degree that I can build with them? I can, grow with them. Yeah. So, and I know
Yeah. Okay. Go. What were you about to say?
No. I mean, another thing is just respecting one another, right?
Respecting one another. That's huge. And sometimes it's as simple as agreeing to disagree. That's huge. You know what I mean? Respecting each other's space and understanding that everybody, might not like you, and that's okay. But choosing to love. The Word of God says to love our neighbors as we love ourselves. That's one of the greatest commandments.
Right.
And so that's important, what I mean? If you're loving your sister or your brother, you're not finding time to be disrespectful or to tear them down, but choosing to build them up, you know what I mean?
Right.
Even, your enemy, if you don't like them, then just keep your space, you don't have to tear them down with words. Words hold power. The power of life and death is in the tongue. So sometimes it's better to just shut up and walk away than to enter into conversations that's not gonna,
or if you get rejected, she's this, or if you get rejected, he's that, right? Sometimes a no is a form of protection, right? Or a sign of promotion. Yeah. God is trying to get you to a whole nother level. You were thinking on this level, he's trying to get you up to a whole nother level, right? So sometimes a no is a form of protection or a sign of promotion.
It's just not a good fit. It's not what it is. It's just not a good fit. That's okay. Who wants to be with somebody that's not a good fit for them?
That's protection.
That is protection. You're right. That is protection. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then I guess the other thing is just taking personal responsibility.
Yeah.
What I find is that, when it's this blame game, people are not necessarily recognizing, hey, this is my role in this, you know what I mean? And if the other thing, what is my role in it? What am I bringing to the table? Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, it's really the man or the woman in the mirror, right?
Yeah. And the funny thing is the narrative, the going back and forth I see on social media is like, what does she bring to the table? What is he bringing to the table? Oh, I'm a bad bee, and you know what? No, I'm a this, I'm a that. Jeez. It's so funny because it's on social media, and when they cut off or when they log off, they can be a completely different person.
It's not even reality, folks.
It's not even reality. You know what I mean? I've seen some who kind of joke about it, how they'll be like, oh, I don't date no broke man, blah blah blah, and then turn off the phones and stuff and go back to real life. And that man is not a millionaire, he's not a thousandaire, but that's your business. You know what I mean? I just want you to be healthy and happy.
And lead with character, though. Because the thing about it is that even if you marry or get involved with somebody who has $1 billion or $1 million, whatever it is, right? What if they lose that money the next day? Right? So that means now that means that we weren't even friends.
Nope.
We weren't even friends if it was like, I didn't even bring the vows, right? What do the vows say?
But you're talking marriage, though.
No, but that it happens.
Well, yeah, it does happen. Okay. But I thought we were just talking about the battle of the sexes. We going into strong type of relationship. Because by then, I'm hoping you already got it together. If you already talking about vows, I'm hoping you already got it together. And this is not
for richer, for
because
poor.
You're not doing a battle of the sexes because at this point you're married and you figured out that he or she is for you and not
for
against
sickness
you.
and health.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean that's you do take that into consideration when you get ready to get married. But that you got to get past the battle of the sexes to get to that point. Yeah.
Right, and I think it's character, and I think one of the things that attracted me to you, and it was just she blew my mind, and I didn't expect to meet her. I mean, I truly didn't expect to meet her when I met her. What have you?
Our introduction video.
Yeah, you kind of like you're like, I mean, whoa, man, I didn't expect it at all, but as we talked. I was like, wow, all the things that I have been praying for, hoping for, just you kind of started to just be that person, right?
So and list isn't bad. List isn't bad, but being flexible.
It's character first. It's character first. Like so for instance, okay, he looks like Denzel, but he's a menace to society, right? So okay, I'll take it because he looks like. I mean, like
Denzel, but he Denzel on training day.
Like I mean, like come on, like right? Or she looks like Holly Berry, but she can't
cook
or do anything.
Yeah, you make money. You don't need to cook. Somebody else can do it for you.
Or she's just rude, or just just
cantankerous. Contrary, and just
lead with character. Lead with character. Respect one another. Stop. Get some healing.
Your heart in the right place. Because when your heart is in the right place, you see things differently.
Ooh, say that again.
When your heart is in the right place, you see things differently. So you don't necessarily, you're not going to be disrespectful because you're going to have compassion for that sister who may be giving off wrong vibes or an attitude. You may have compassion like, oh, I wonder how her day is. I wonder if she's going home to her kids after a long day of work and she has a whole lot of stuff to do. Or I wonder, how she feels. Because then you lead with your heart and not just with your head and an attitude. And vice versa with women. It will be like, oh man, I wonder how his day went. You know what I mean? It won't be like, oh, brother walking around all angry all the time. You don't know what load they have to bear.
Sure.
So if anything, we begin to pray for people and have compassion.
Love it.
You know what I mean? When you lead with your heart.
No, I love it. And please know that we present and obviously like any married couple, any couple, we have issues and we do things. And I mean, I tell you, before we pressed record, before we pressed record, it was just like, really? I mean, but how about that?
We were having passionate discourse, but not disrespectful, but passionate discourse where where we was just like, because I was just like, I gotta rep for the women, because we can't have this misogynist, views coming through and blah blah blah. And the reality is we're on the same team. It's just there's so many views and perspective around the whole battle of the sexes.
We're in the same team.
That one must remember, even if the battle of the sexes, we're not battling.
We're not battling.
We're not battling.
No.
That's my husband.
Right. How can two walk together unless they agree? Right. And so if we're battling.
Where there's unity, God commands
the blessing. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. So where there's unity, God commands the blessing. So if there's no unity, then, we're not getting the full bounty of blessing that we could get. Yes. If we were on one accord.
Even as a community.
Oh, come on. That was good.
Even as a community.
That's good.
How beautiful is that?
That's good. That's real good. That's good. That's real good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, again, this is small conversations, but this wasn't really a small conversation, and we probably need to.
You can carry that one on.
I know we're gonna have to. Video. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think so too. But this has been a wonderful time. I hope you really enjoyed it. Again, share, like, comment, and subscribe. If there's a content that you want us to talk about, let us know. Yeah, let us know. One Brother Smalls on Instagram. It's Tonya Iris on Instagram. We're all over Facebook at Brother Smalls. And again, Tonya Iris on Facebook. Brother Smalls on Facebook.
hit us up so we can continue this conversation.
Right, as the great Deion Sanders would say, I ain't hard to find.